going? Thank you so much for coming back to my channel and joining me today. We are going to whip up one of our favorite summer suppers. So I call it a hummus dip, but it's kind of a Middle Eastern dish. Actually, I first learned about it one time we did a Good Food subscription. And so I'm kind of taking a recipe that they had sent out to us and adapting it a little bit, kind of putting our own little spin on it. So if you want to join us and watch how we make it, I will post the recipe to my Instagram. My adapted recipe I'll be posting to my Instagram if you would like to see it there and try it yourself. I highly suggest it, especially this time of year with all the fresh produce coming out of the garden, your tomatoes, your cucumbers, garlic, onions, all of that stuff is used in this recipe. So let's get started. So the first thing that we are going to do is start browning some ground beef. So I am very lucky. I don't know if you know this, but I come from a beef farm background. So my parents own a cow-calf operation, and so do my grandparents. So I'm very lucky and fortunate that I am able to source local beef anytime that I want, whether it's from my dad, my uncle, my grandfather. I always have beef available to me. We typically buy it in a quarter or a half, and then we have a large freezer in our back room that we store it in. So we always have fresh, local, well cared for beef available to us, which I really love. We're very lucky that way. We can also source local chicken and pork as well, which is very, very nice. So I don't have to buy any of that stuff at the grocery store, which is amazing. I'm very lucky that way. Let's get started. So I'm going to turn our element on to about medium. We're going to add our ground beef to the pan. I just have a little bit of olive oil in here. And I have my scissors in my back pocket because I was using them in the garden. So we're just gonna get our ground beef in the pan here. Perfect. So now to the ground beef, I'm going to mix it up a little bit, or crush it up, I should say. It's still a touch frozen just in that spot, but it won't take long. I forgot to take my ground beef out this morning, so I took it out around, I don't know, 2 o'clock. And it's now about 7 o'clock maybe. We eat late. We always put our daughter to bed after she has her supper, and then I usually make something for us. This would be too spicy for her anyways, so she's not gonna have this. Okay, so to our ground beef, we're going to add some salt and pepper to start. And I always season our ground beef well. All right, so to that we are going to add a few different spices, and I know this sounds very strange, but I promise it's going to be delicious. So the first one we're going to add is turmeric, and we're going to do half a teaspoon of turmeric. Now the turmeric, mostly for color. I mean, it does add a little bit of flavor, but mostly for the color. We've got our cumin. I'm going to do a full teaspoon of cumin. So this is my half teaspoon measure. This is a pretty cool little device here. I don't know if you can see that, but you can flip it up one way and then the back like that. It's a pretty handy little thing. So then we're going to add coriander. And I'm just going to do a half teaspoon, I think, of coriander as well. And then the last ingredient that we're going to use is yellow curry powder. And I'm going to add a full tablespoon. Again, it seems like a lot, but it'll be okay. We'll give that a mix. And I will warn you, your beef is going to turn a yellow color from the spices. It looks very strange. So while this is cooking, we're gonna head over to the island and we're gonna start chopping some veggies. Okay, so I already have my scallion. It's not scallion. What are these called? Shallots. Okay, so I already have my shallots and my garlic diced. As soon as the ground beef gets about halfway cooked, we're going to add those. Actually, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and add those now. So we've got our shallot and our garlic going in. You can do onion as well. It doesn't matter. This is just what I had on hand. Okay, so we're going to start chopping our other vegetables now. So we're going to chop a bunch of radishes. We've got a bunch of cherry tomatoes that we're going to chop, and a cucumber. Now, unfortunately, the cucumber and the cherry tomatoes did not come out of my garden. My tomatoes are so close, but we're just not there yet. And I used all my cucumbers yesterday when I was making pickles. Again, I didn't think ahead. I feel like this is a theme around here these days. So I'm going to use about half of this cucumber. And I leave the skin on. It's an English cucumber, so it's not tough at all. And we're just going to cut it into quarters. We've got our bowl here. We're just going to start adding things to the bowl. So we might as well start chopping up some radishes. I'd actually picked these radishes quite a while ago, maybe even 2 weeks ago now, and they keep really well in the fridge like this. Some of them are not looking as great, but they'll still taste delicious. See, that one's not very good. So the chickens will get that one. One thing to mention, I did wash everything, all the produce, before we started today. That's very important. Especially, well, not even especially, just in general, it's important to wash your produce, but here we like to put manure in our garden, so I find it very important to wash things. So we just kind of want the same sort of sizes. So that when you get a bite, you kind of get a bite of everything. I'm just going to go give our ground beef mixture a little stir. I forgot, I want to add some cayenne pepper, probably just about a pinch or so, maybe a quarter teaspoon. Okay, so we have all of our cucumbers and our radishes diced, so now I'm gonna get working on the tomatoes. One little thing, I was gifted this little knife for Christmas one year, and I know it seems so silly, but it is amazing. It's serrated, and it's for cutting tomatoes, and it works so good. I know it sounds so silly. I am constantly saying like, oh, I don't need any more dishes, no more gadgets to, you know, have to wash or clean or what have you. But I reach for this thing all the time. It's great. Just slices through them like butter. And again, we're just going to do kind of the same size. We'll just carry on with the tomatoes until we get about the same amount. Okay, so I went ahead and got the rest of those cherry tomatoes diced. I also went ahead and chopped up some green onions off of our onion. They're just onion tops off of our onions in the garden, and then some more garlic. I forgot that I was supposed to hold back some garlic for the dressing, but that's okay. We love garlic, so it won't be bad by any means. So we're gonna get these tomatoes added in with the rest of the salad ingredients. I'm going to add half of the green onions-ish. Maybe a bit more than half. Perfect. We're just going to set that aside. I'm just going to grab a little towel. Okay, so now we're going to make the dressing for the salad that goes on top. So what I've already got here, I don't know if you can see it there, I juiced and zested 1 lemon. So all of the juice and all of the zest from 1 lemon is already in here. We're going to add some green onions as well as some garlic. And this is 2 cloves of garlic. You can kind of do it to your preference. We really like garlic, but if you're not a fan, you don't have to put that much. And then we're going to add some olive oil. I would say, I don't know, maybe 1/8 of a cup or more. I always just measure with my heart, so that's what I would suggest you do as well. That's good, and then we're going to add some salt and pepper. We're going to give it a quick stir. And I'm just going to taste for seasonings. Oh, you know what it's missing? It's missing some of the spices. So you're supposed to put some curry powder in there. I'm going to say about a quarter teaspoon. And as this sits, of course, the flavors will come out of the garlic and the onion as well. That's better. I think I just want to add a touch of honey to that. This is local honey. I get it from a farm just up the road from me. It's wildflower honey, so it's absolutely delicious. It's a nice light honey. One day I would like to get bees, but it seems pretty daunting right now. So I would say add about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of honey. Again, just taste it as you go. That's very much how I like to cook. It's just tasting as we go. It drives my husband a little bit crazy. That's perfect. That's really good. Okay. So I think we are ready to dress our salad. We'll go ahead and get our salad dressed and then we can start building. Okay, so we have all of our components. We are ready to build the platter. So I just use store-bought hummus. Maybe one day I'll make my own. This is my favorite. It's just the roasted garlic hummus. It's really, really good. And then your little pitas. So they're just little bite-sized naan. You just buy them at our grocery store. You can use big size naan too. You can just cut it up, whatever works. We just really like those and my daughter loves them, so that's what we've got. So I'm gonna bring you in close so you can watch how I build this. Okay, so to start, we just put a smear of the hummus on the bottom, a generous amount, because remember, we're eating this as a meal. Okay, so there's our hummus. And next we're going to put the ground beef down. So we're just going to spoon the ground beef over top of the hummus. And this is personal size. I love doing personal sized. It works well for our family. Then we each have our own plate. You can make one big one and share it as a family too. That's nice. Okay, so that's our ground beef. And now we're going to top it with our salad. I'm just going to give it one more stir. Look at all that beautiful fresh produce. And then I love to just get a bit of that liquid out of the bottom. And just kind of drizzle it over top. Nothing goes to waste. It's so good. Now I really like cilantro. My husband is not a huge fan, but that's okay because we do personal size. We can do whatever we want on our own plates. So I'm just going to rip up some cilantro, sprinkle it around. Add a few little naan. And there we go. That's supper. Okay, and that is our supper tonight. Our quick and easy hummus platter. How good does that look? I cannot wait to dive in. If you need a quick and easy summer recipe, I highly suggest trying this one. And if you do, I'd love to hear how you like it in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, friends, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.